Hi Not Board Gamers, and welcome back to Not Board Gaming. I'm your host, I'm Mark. It's still very early January in 2020, so this is the very first video of the year of 2020 for Not Board Gaming, and today's video is going to be an unboxing video, and as you'll guess from the title, it's going to be for Dungeon Degenerates and the expansion Mean Streets. Now, this was a Kickstarter that I backed last year and it arrived yesterday. It's a game that it's on its third print at the moment, third print Kickstarter, and it's a game with some really cool artwork. I'm sure if you know anything about the game, then you would have seen some of the artwork. The artwork kind of reminds me of some of the computer games on the Commodore 64 from the 80s, so things like Head Over Heels, and maybe even a little bit of the artwork in the comic book, The Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. Now, if you haven't read that, you may be too young to read that. Wait till you're a little bit older and have a look into the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers, a really kind of defining comic from my late teens and early 20s when I was younger. So I was really interested to get into Dungeon Degenerates, Hand of Doom, and the expansion Mean Streets as well, because the game, I know the artwork is divisive for a lot of people. It really is kind of very colourful and bright and very distinctive, of course. Oops, upside down. Colourful, bright and distinctive, of course. But for me, it really struck a chord. I really like that artwork. Now, the reviews say that the game is a great dungeon crawler-ish as well. It's kind of an not open world, but an outdoors dungeon crawler, if you like. And it looks like a really fun game with lots of great cards. So I was very eager when I backed this, and it arrived, as I say, yesterday. So what we're going to do now is have a look at what's inside the box and see exactly what you get inside the boxes of Dungeon Degenerates, Hand of Doom, and Dungeon Degenerates Mean Streets by Goblinko, with the artwork by Sean Aberg. Okay people, so here we go. Now, for anybody that's seen my unboxing videos before, you will know that I normally do them on my dining room table. I have a huge game of Eldritch Horror going on there at the moment, and I've thrown 3 expansions into that as well, so I'm not going to throw all that off the table, so I'm going to do it in my living room here. And here we have both Dungeon Degenerates, Hand of Doom, and the Mean Streets expansion box. We'll come to that very shortly. Now, it's still in shrink, so you're going to get some glare on there. So the first thing I'm going to do before we discuss the artwork is just take the wrapper off the shrink. Now, there's a slight bowing at the back of this box just here, but look at this wonderfully evocative, decadent, psychedelic, fantastic looking, utterly divisive artwork. To my mind, as I mentioned earlier, it kind of brings me back to some of those wonderful games from the kind of early days of home computers, from the Commodore 64 and the ZX Spectrum. Looks like something that Ocean would have put on front of one of their cassettes that you used to load a game. So we have Dungeon Degenerates, Hand of Doom by Goblinko. I just love this artwork. It's like somebody's eaten a packet of crayons and thrown it up onto the box. It's fantastic. In a land where rot rules, only degenerates survive. Dungeon Degenerates. And there's some indication on how you lay the game out there. Some indication of some of the cards. I'll not go through all of this, but I know there's a lot there that you can do. I think you can pick one of 20 missions or something like that. And in the box you get 6 dice, 1 game board, the rules. The missions, a 20-page book, 2 reference sheets, 8 character sheets, 8 standees and 4 clips, 306 cards, American Standard, which are 64 encounter cards, 150 monster cards, 84 loot cards, 8 signer power cards. There are 134 mini cards, your danger cards, doom cards, skill cards, triumph cards, weakness cards, and over 300 counters. So I can dare say there's going to be a fair bit of punching to do once we open this box. As we see here, 1 to 4 players, 2 to 4 hours for ages 16 and plus, medium difficulty, and not suitable for squares, man. And again, this wonderful artwork. As I say, it's just ever so slightly bowed on the bottom of the box there. So here we have the moment. Look at this board. This is like a psychedelic dream. It's utterly fantastic. Let's just move the box to one side while we have a look at the board in all its glory. And there we go. And it's not a huge board, but oh my God, does that have all the colours that are on there. It's almost like they've invented new colours here. Oh my God. And here we go. Maybe that's something there rather dodgy. A little bit there in the middle of the board, as you can see, it looks like it's delaminating and it's pushed itself against itself slightly. So I'll get on to Goblinko about that. Obviously these things happen in production. It's not the end of the world. I'll see if they want to do anything about that. Bit of a shame, but there we go. These things happen. Look, you can just see the edge where it's just a little bit battered. I'm sure it's just a one-off. Okay, what do we have here? We have, these are the player boards then. So we have the Hinterlander, we have the Mercenary Alchemist, the Corpse Burner. This artwork is just outstanding. Witch Smeller, a Void Witch, a Bloodsport Brawler. Look at that, that is just pure 80s metal rock with a little bit of S&M fetishism thrown in there. The Bog Conjurer looks like Iggy Pop. And the Vermin Hunter. This is just utterly fantastic. The artwork is just so much fun. Okay, what else have we got? We have, these are like reference sheets here. So the combat round. We got icon reference on the back, tells you what all the various icons do. A sequence of play, map actions. This, I'm so looking forward to getting into this. A couple of decent looking reference sheets, again with some wonderful artwork on there. And what do we have here? Oh, a missions book. So we have in here 20 pages of missions in here, and there looks to be quite a lot of them basically. It tells you how to set them up, what you can do, death for hire. My God, this looks absolutely fantastic. It looks very involved as well, like there's a lot to go at with these missions. And of course, nobody ever plays a mission just once and then beats every single mission they play the first time. So I bet there's a lot of replayability in that. Here we go, Dungeon Degenerates, Hand of Doom, the rule book. Okay, and we have 37 pages of rules, which, here we go, we've got a campaign record sheet at the back, and then various bits in there. I don't know how easy this game is to play. Obviously, we should be having a look. I should imagine there's some videos out there as well. I'll be spending some time this weekend reading this rule book, which looks like it's going to be a lot of fun to kind of read as well. That's great. Okay. Because there are 300 counters, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 punch boards with lots of counters on there, very glossy print, some fantastic artwork on some of these as well. I don't know if that's focusing for you on some of the counters there. You've got the players, you've got the various tokens, more tokens, days, half an attack, what's 1 clue, 2 clue, 3 clues, eyes, stars, numbers, blessed, what's that one say? Flooded caves, hidden halls, and the maze. So yeah, there's loads and loads on there. And here we go, final bits in the box. Some baggies to help me store everything. Some relatively small dice and some standees there. Tiny little dice, different coloured, purple, orange and green. I'm sure they have their uses. And here we have signs of power cards. So let's just have a look at the quality of the cards here. So reasonable thickness. I would say they're akin to kind of Street Masters kind of card stock that's there. Again, very, very, very bright and colourful, and I have not one clue what the Skink Sneak does. He's obviously some kind of baddie with some filth, reptilian, great artwork, skirmish, constitution down, attack of 4, so that must be armour of 1 and a health of 3 by the looks of it. We have the Tree Terror. I mean, look at these. The Bandit Berserker. It's like Tina Turner has, I don't know, eaten too many blueberries. That looks fantastic. Okay, let's have a look at what else is in here. So that's I think those are we've got some signs of power cards and epic monsters and monster cards. Let's have a look at these signs of power cards. The sign of Vor, yeah. The sign of Kish and the sign of Malice. And the finger of scorn, and we can see those. If you reverse those ever so slightly, you probably get a slightly different sign coming at you. Great artwork. Here we go. What we got here? Wetlands monsters. So again, these are looks like more monster cards. Lowlands monsters, wetlands monsters, epic loot. Let's have a quick look at an epic loot card. we can get the Eye of Dread, or maybe a Night Cloak, and you're immune to pursue. There are a lot of cards in this game. Obviously, it told us how many cards there were and broke it down for us, but that is a lot of cards in there. And then we also have, of course, the smaller cards as well, which are Triumph cards and various things. So that looks like if you actually win, you get a Triumph card maybe. And then we've got some skill cards there, Backstab, Mastery, and Danger cards. What's this one say? Ooh, you've attracted the attention of an unmistakable malignant force in your current space. And there'll be some kind of encounter to do on the back of that. So lots of cards. If you like sleeving, by the looks of that, there isn't enough space in there to actually sleeve your cards. And of course, it comes with a number of baggies to put the tokens in. So that, my friends, is the core game, core box of Dungeon Degenerates. Mild shame about what's happened on the board there, but not the end of the world. I'm sure that we can get that resolved with Goblinko. So let's have a look now onto the Mean Streets expansion box. So again, it's got this wonderful artwork on here. This is green, and you've got, I don't know, stuff running through the streets of a city maybe, and it looks like some hands going up. While the Hand of Doom menaces the countryside, a new terror looms on the horizon, spreading through the vermin-infested cellars, back alleys and sewage canals of the imperial sprawl. The plague threatens to run rampant through Verstreich, and the scattered renegade settlements of the borderlands. So this has got a rule book, a reference card, 4 adventures, 58 cards, 14 mini cards, and of course more counters as well. It says it expands the sprawling and wretched world of the Verstreich, with the all-new settlement encounters, plague and monster abilities, along with new monsters, loot, adventurers, skills, missions, and more. There we go, and it's not for anybody under 3 years old, apparently, according to that sticker on the back. I can't see that many people under 3 would actually be playing this, so let's have a look inside the box of the Mean Streets expansion for Dungeon Degenerates Hand of Doom. And here we go. We get this will be the rulebook that comes with it. Yep. The rulebook that comes with it tells you, I should imagine there are some variations to the base game, so I'm going to start off only playing Hand of Doom, of course, and then I shall incorporate this after I've played that for a few times. What's this here? This is, again, some reference cards that are bespoke to Mean Streets there. And what do we have on the back? We have the Mendicant Monk. Wonderful. This artwork just creases me up. His homeland is a holy order complex, and his crime is heresy. His suggested skills are forlorn hope and rage, and his suggested weakness is remorse. It doesn't sound... So this sounds like an angry teenager, and having 2 teenage daughters, I can tell you, I feel that firsthand. And then we have the Fugitive Fop. Okay. So their crime is buggery and lewd conduct. Their suggested skills are performance and transmute, and the suggested weaknesses are accustomed to comfort. Okay, fine. Then what else do we have? We have the Sickly Soldier. Their crime is desertion and violation of the public health code. Their homeland is the Unterstadt of Brutelberg. The suggested skills are ferocious, challenge and provoke, and the suggested weaknesses are that they're a bit feeble, really. So, yeah, that's the Sickly Soldier. And the final one in this one is the Unlicensed Surgeon. Oh, there we go. Look at this lady, should I say. Their crime is medical malpractice. Suggested skills are alchemy and mend wounds, and the suggested weakness is despair. Excellent stuff. Of course, we have 2 more boxes of punch-outs and tokens there, with the new character cards and some new tokens, and then a smallish pack of settlement encounter cards and various other cards there. I think the lore cards and what have you for the Hand of Doom. Let's just have a quick look in there. So we have settlement encounters, wetlands monsters, lore, epic loot. I don't know whether you mix all this into the main game to start off with, or whether you could just, I should imagine that you don't, you just play the base game to start off with, and then move on from there, and then some smaller cards, of course, there. So that's one of the expansions. I know that there are a wealth and a plethora of expansions for Dungeon Degenerates. There were many that you could have ordered at Kickstarter stage. Of course, I didn't order lots because I didn't know if I was going to like the game. And I think that's a really important thing, is that I know a lot of people have gone all in on this particular product. Because of the number of Kickstarters that were coming through, I just decided to be a little bit more kind of cautious about how much I went in for this. It looks like my kind of game. I do like an actually dungeon crawler game. I'm loving the artwork on this. You know, my background, as I've said many times, I grew up in the 70s and 80s. I was a teenager during the 80s, and so therefore this kind of wonderful neon-esque cartoon-style artwork just takes me back to so many old album covers and old computer games, and I'm really looking forward to delving into Dungeon Degenerates and giving it a good playthrough. So once I've finished what I'm doing on Eldritch Horror, I think this is going to be my next game on the table. Look for a review coming up from Not Board Gaming of Dungeon Degenerates and Dungeon Degenerates Mean Streets. So Hand of Doom is obviously the base game. That has been my unboxing. Wow, so that was the unboxing. Now it's the day after the unboxing, and as you can see, I set the game up. In fact, yesterday I spent a couple of hours reading through the rule books, and last night I started playing the game of Dungeon Degenerates Hand of Doom. I haven't mixed the Mean Streets expansion in just yet, and it's a beautiful game to lay out, as you can see. The rule book a little bit overcomplicates things, but we'll come into that at another time when I do a review of the game. However, I'm having an absolute blast with this game so far. So thank you very much for joining us on Not Board Gaming once again. Remember, you can always like and subscribe to the channel. You can always follow us on Instagram or on Facebook, and that's Not Board Gaming, always B-O-R-E-D. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out our other videos. We'll have some more videos, more reviews, more unboxings coming pretty soon. I've got a fairly big game I'm reviewing at the moment. I'm hoping to get a review up very shortly. So thank you very much. And remember, until next time, if you can't find anybody else to play with, there's nothing wrong with playing with yourselves.